Every time I come in the kitchen, you in the kitchen.
That's enough damn salt there, Willie.
I know what I'm doing.
Don't nobody want all that goddamn salt in their potato salad.
You saw a what?
It was a wolf, goddammit, big black stinking ass wolf.
When I was young, there was not enough food, and we were so poor. So working days, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I was always a hustler.
And they didn't want John Witherspoon. They thought he was too ghetto. They thought that John was too country, that he was too Detroit. You know that Detroit.
We got paid $5,000 a piece to do that movie. The movie grow $300 million. And they're not going to come back and say, look, we made a lot of money, we're going to give you all a bonus. That ain't some bullshit. That don't happen in Hollywood.
Girl, did you ever stop to think that John Witherspoon, the hilarious pops we all know and love, might have led a life bursting at the seams with drama? Like, behind all those legendary catchphrases and belly laughs, was there some real mess going on? Because let's be real, John just didn't keep us in stitches with his iconic one-liners on Friday. He was also killing it in the Boondocks.
Excuse me, I want to buy the thing that I saw on the TV with the George Lucas, the girl in the phone.
Oh, you're talking about Siri.
And Black Jesus.
What you got for me today? I've been good.
You know, the world is yours, man. Whatever you want, man.
I need the numbers to the lotto.
But honey, from navigating the rough waters of being a black man in Hollywood.
Then we got to NBC, we got to the table read, and they didn't want John Witherspoon. They didn't want him.
To some pretty heated clashes in the industry, Witherspoon's real-life drama might just be way more interesting than anything we've ever seen on screen. And girl, don't even get me started on what his son's spilling these days. It's clear that the man we all saw as the ultimate father figure definitely had way more going on behind the scenes than you ever imagined. So John Witherspoon wasn't just the sweet old man from Friday telling Craig to get a job.
Go out and look for a job. The word today is job. J-O-B.
Before becoming so successful in his career, the man had been through hell and back. But before diving into all of that, let's get a quick info on his early life. John was born on January 27, 1942, in Detroit, Michigan, to Reverend James Witherspoon and his wife Ann, as one of 11 siblings. Yes, girl, 11.
11 kids.
Your parents got
9
busy.
boys and 2 girls. A lot of brothers.
Okay. Your parents got busy, I see.
They never told us about sex, but apparently they didn't have time.
They're too busy making kids.
Yeah, too busy making kids, yeah.
A black family with 11 kids in the 40s? I don't need to tell you, they didn't have enough to go around.
When I was young, there was not enough food, and we were so poor. We were too poor. I used to wear 2 left boots to school.
Two, like really? Wore 2 left
Two
boots?
left boots. I'm walking like this in the snow in Detroit, like this.
So,
And one of them had a high heel.
But what the family lacked in finances, they made up for with love and, of course, a whole lot of drama. Growing up, John always had to hustle his way through life. This man had done everything, from modeling gigs to working daytime jobs.
I had to pay my rent, brother. I did anything I can.
Taking any
Not to go back
job
to
you-
Detroit.
Any job you could.
Any job I could. And then I got a job at Gucci in the daytime.
Okay.
So I'm working days, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I worked at the comedy store at night from Gucci. I was always a hustler.
And who could forget the wild story of him losing all his money on his first night in Vegas?
So I went back to LA, bought myself a car, and drove all the way to Las Vegas to see what the comics are doing. Yeah, I went to Vegas first, which I shouldn't have done because I lost my money the first night. First week I was there, I lost all my money.
Okay.
Thank God I rented a room for 30 days. Thank God I did that. So I had to sit in the room for 30 days and was broke and have no money.
Wow.
I called people in Detroit to send me some money. People get real funny when when you 2,000 miles away talking about you want you to send me some money.
Right.
Huh? What?
It's a bad connection.
Bad connection. Click.
But after years of bouncing between different gigs,
I moved to New York 1971. I was about 30 years old, 29, 30.
John finally hit his turning point. One random acting class was all it took for him to realize acting and comedy was his golden ticket out.
I would live with my brother for about 6 months and his wife and their kids. And they would go every Thursday to a theater group. And they would do theater. I said, boy, that's pretty hip, y'all going to do theater and all that stuff. And so I said, boy, I'd like to be an actor one day. So what I did, I got in Yellow Pages and I called John Binkelman's acting classes. And so it was $25 a session, private lesson. And so I went and I did it. And first day I was there, I said, boy, this is exciting.
And boy, was he right. John quickly started working his way up, scoring spots at open mic nights.
You go in there and you introduce yourself to Mitzi, and they put me on open mic night.
Which is the lowest of the low when it comes to
That's when you first start.
This is new to me. I'm from Detroit, and when we say we roast somebody, we actually roast somebody.
And before he knew it, he was opening shows for comedy giants like Richard Pryor and David Letterman.
I would MC for Richard. So Richard would tell me to go up there and do 45 minutes.
So I'd like to introduce the first member of our team, a gentleman to my far right, Mr. Johnny Witherspoon.
Now, what do you get when you combine a funny dude with great acting skills? A powerhouse performer, of course. John was so good that he could churn out a great scene without any script.
When I got to New York, they said, Spoon, they want you to be funny in this movie. I said, okay, where the script at? They said, ain't no script. You gonna do the script. Wow. What you mean I'm the script? He said, go to the wardrobe department and pick up something the stuff you wear all the time, the stuff you like to wear on TV, on the movies, and we want you to do this scene. And you do everything what you want to do. I gotta watch. What you mean? I just flew in. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Even crazier, this genius prefers working with no script and coming up with his own jokes on screen.
No matter what movie you're in, you consistently steal the movie.
They let me ad-lib.
Right.
So that's my thing. I can create jokes right on the spot.
Right. See, like, fuck
Funny
this.
line. I've done a many of them like it too.
Do directors ever try to like argue with you about that?
Oh yeah, when I was on Tracy Morgan show, they said, "Oh, Mr. Witherspoon, you got to stick to the script." I said, "Man, this stuff ain't funny. We're supposed to be funny. It's a comedy, isn't it?" They said, "Well, sir, you got to stick to the script." I said, "We're gonna be canceled real quick," and we got canceled about 18 shows in. We got canceled.
There you have
all
it.
that money I missed.
Boy, by the time 1995 rolled around, John was already dominating the scene as Mr. Jones on Friday.
I bet y'all drinking that wine too much, smoking them tweeds and everything, wearing old clothes all half off your ass. What the hell's going on today?
But darling, while he was riding the success wave, there was a whole lot of mess bubbling underneath. And what better place to start than with Hollywood drama, of course. And trust me, this one's a shocker. I mean, who would have thought that John Witherspoon had beef? And you won't believe who was at the center of it either. So, you know John stole the show as Pops on the Wayans Brothers, right?
Talking about Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones are still out there making that paper.
And needless to say, his chemistry with the Wayans brothers was magic on screen as he nailed the hilarious no-nonsense dad role. But what if I told you the only reason the Wayans didn't get picked up by NBC was because of John? Yep, that happened.
And we created the show together, and then we got to NBC, we got to the table read, and they didn't want John Witherspoon. They didn't want him. They thought he was too ghetto. They thought that John was too country, that he was too Detroit. You know, that Detroit player, brother. You know, John has a very, distinct personality,
exactly.
Bro. He was very John the ghetto.
Can you imagine? But boy, if there's one thing about the Wayans brothers, it's that they will always ride for their people.
You do realize to be on network television, and the only thing that you had to do in order to get on network television was to change a character. You know how many people would have changed that one character?
Yeah, but we have a loyalty and we have instincts, and you got to trust your instincts.
They told NBC it was either John as their TV dad or no show at all. And guess what? They walked.
Oh, then me and Sean was like, we don't want no other father. And they was like, either you replace the father or you don't get on our air. And we said, we're not replacing the father. And so NBC didn't pick us up.
Eventually, the brothers pitched the show to WB.
And then WB is being created, and they need a flagship show. And we did this pilot called Wayans Brothers, and they was like, we'll take it. So me and Sean with John, we said, you gotta take John Witherspoon, bet. And from there, the Wayans Brothers.
Honestly, though, major props to the Wayans brothers for taking their stand. Because let's be real, the show could never have been the same without the chemistry with John.
Me and Sean is always going to be funny, but you need that triangle offense. Every time we threw John the ball, we knew that was
Curry.
We knew it. He stepped. Or Clay, we knew it. Every time John, and we had the time of our lives.
Now, regardless of what most celebrities would like us to think, the Hollywood journey is never all roses and honey. And when it comes to financial issues, let's just say, John had his fair share of money problems. And I'm not just talking about his life before the rise to fame. I'm talking about times when outwardly, most people thought he was swimming in money, when in reality, the guy was barely getting by.
I had to pay my rent. I didn't give a damn what it was.
It was $5,000.
I had $5,000. I had to pay my rent. That rent, $130-some. I paid about three. See, I used to pay my rent 6 months ahead.
Okay.
So if I'm broke, I still can have a place to go home and sleep.
Like, what? The movie that is literally on everyone's top 5 paid such a ridiculous amount to its actors. But here's the thing, though. The movie was way more successful than the producers thought it would be at first, leading to the crazy underpayment of its cast.
The movie cost $2 million.
$2 million. We got paid $5,000 a piece to do that movie.
Right. And I guess Ice Cube was going to put up the money himself.
Right.
But New Line Cinema talked him out of it.
They said, look, ain't no sense you losing $2 million. If the movie bomb, we just take the hit. The movie grow $300 million.
He could have gotten all that.
And they're not going to come back and say, we made a lot of money, we're going to give you all the bonus. That ain't some bullshit. That don't happen in Hollywood.
But hey, I guess they made up for it in the sequel. In the year 2000, Next Friday was released, and of course, the movie was a hit.
Oh, I can't wait to see your mama naked, that big old booty bouncing around. Boom, boom, boom.
And this time, John revealed he cashed out a total of $400,000.
It's not like he's going to get $5,000 to do Next Friday. I mean, at this point, he's a
I got
superstar.
$400,000
for the second one.
Yeah.
Not bad, right? But despite everything, the truth is, John was still not rolling in as much dough as it seemed. Now, this is where the story gets real sad, so you better get your tissues ready. On October 29, 2019, John Witherspoon passed away suddenly at the age of 77.
Tributes are pouring in today for beloved actor and comedian John Witherspoon. Witherspoon, who had a prolific Hollywood career, died yesterday in Los Angeles. He may be best known for his role as rapper Ice Cube's father in the Friday film franchise.
He died from a heart attack, and let me tell you, the news rocked the comedy world. From Ice Cube to the Wayans Brothers, everyone came out of the woodworks to pay their respects. I mean, there was no denying that John had a lasting impact on everyone he worked with. But here's the thing. John's passing wasn't just sad because we lost a comedy legend. It was sad because he never really got to slow down and enjoy life, you know? Man was still out here doing stand-up gigs, working hard like he always had. It's like he felt he had to keep grinding, even when he should have been relaxing and enjoying the fruits of his labor.
76 years old now.
Yeah.
You've been doing this for 40 years. What keeps you going all these years? Because most 76-year-olds would probably be retired by now.
Money. I like that cash.
Doesn't that just break your heart? So you might be asking, what does a legend leave behind when he dies? His legacy, of course. And for John Witherspoon, that legacy lives on through his son, JD.
One of my friends was like, why don't you try acting? You're always wasting time in class making us laugh. And I was like, oh, that's an interesting idea. So I started like doing commercial acting and whatnot. But I have friends who are comics. Like, I don't usually bring up he's my dad. Like, it's something that just randomly happens usually. Like, and when that comes across, they're like, oh, that's crazy. So you got like a well of information in the sense of being a good comic and writing and this and that. And I'm like, not yet. Like, not that I don't.
This guy has been killing his game in acting, especially as a voice actor. But here's where things get spicy. When JD thought he could slide into his dad's former voice acting role after John's death, girl, they treated him like an absolute nobody. Apparently, before John passed away, the Boondocks already announced a relaunch, complete with new animation. But here's the thing. After the actor's unfortunate passing, people were left wondering who would be stepping into those big shoes. And hey, we all thought who better for the job than his own son, right? Well, the show coordinators did not agree.
The casting director oddly said to me, hey, first time in front of the mic? And I was like, I was actually concerned because I was like, no, has no one seen my resume? Did my reps not send it? Which they did.
They went, JD who? And despite him being really good at impressions and sounding just like his dad.
How do you feel about your son's impression of you? It's really good.
JD, what you doing today? You got work. You gotta go sit back and talk to all them people. Yeah.
The show chose somebody else.
They did tell me about how they reached out to some specific actors literally the same week my dad had passed.
Ouch! Talk about Hollywood being cutthroat. So, what will John Witherspoon be remembered for? Well, honey, one thing is for sure. He'll always be the hilarious guy who made us laugh until we cried. From his role in Friday to the Wayans Brothers. John left behind a comedic legacy that's hard to top. And in Hollywood, that's saying something. But seriously, though, the man knew how to take the simplest lines and turn them into something iconic. I mean, who else could make a catchphrase? And as for his net worth, when John passed away in 2019, his net worth was reported to be around $4 million. Now, don't get me wrong, $4 million is nothing to scoff at. But considering how big he was in the game, that's not exactly Hollywood rich, honey. Turns out John wasn't raking in as much as you think. And it all makes perfect sense when you think of the fact that the dude was always hustling, even when he was already well into his 70s, right onto his very death. So there you have it, the messy life of John Witherspoon. From Hollywood beef to financial struggles. Behind all that laughter, there really was a man who struggled. He struggled with family drama, financial pressures, and the constant grind of staying relevant in Hollywood. His life wasn't as easy as it looked, but through it all, he kept us laughing. And isn't that the best legacy a comedian can leave? Bang, bang.